stop before you buy another Python course. You have to watch this. Everyone keeps asking me, do I still need to learn Python now that AI writes code for me? Well, here's my honest answer. Yes, but not all of Python, only the parts that actually show up inside every AI system that you'll ever build. And today, we're going on a treasure hunt through real AI projects to pull out the exact things that you need to learn in Python. But first, why does Python still matter? Well, think of Python like a giant city. It has neighborhoods, the data science district, the web dev quarters, the machine learning boulevard, and we are not tourists. We're moving in specifically to the AI engineering neighborhood. Now, every model SDK, it's Python. Every agent framework, it's Python. LangChain, OpenAI, Anthropic, Hugging Face, all Python. So yes, Python is the language of AI, but most people fall in the trap of starting with generic Python courses and spend weeks on topics that they will never use in AI. They get overwhelmed, forget half of what they learned, and then give up because they're not finding it useful. That ends today because we are going project by project and learning only what matters because we don't have time to waste, right?
You're goddamn right.
Project 1 is the hello world of AI apps. The best way to learn Python is to write your first hello world AI app in Python. So let's say you want to ask a question to an LLM. A Python script for that would look like this. You write a prompt, you send it to the model, you get an answer back, and it works, right? Okay, so what Python concepts does this tiny app teach us? We gotta work backwards now because we have AI. The first is variables. Everything in your code has a name. The client, the prompt, the response, all are variables. Think of them as labeled jars that hold your ingredients. Second is your data type, specifically your strings. Prompts are strings, responses are strings, and the special kind, F strings, they let you bake variables right into your prompt, like Mad Libs. Third is dictionaries. This is the big one. Almost every API response comes back as a dictionary. It has key value pairs like a library card catalog. You look up by card name and you get back the book. Fourth is the lists. Often you'll have a list of messages, a list of dictionaries inside a list. It sounds fancy, but it's really just a shopping cart that's holding your recipe cards. Then fifth is imports. You need to bring an outside tool like plugging in a drill before you use it. One-line code, import Anthropic. And now you have the whole AI toolkit from Anthropic. Finally, the API keys. Never put your passwords in the code. Store it in a hidden .env file, like keeping your house keys under a specific rock only you know about. Not written on the front door, right? I hope you're not doing that. Building a chatbot. Now, before we move on to project 2, I want to pause and highlight something critical. Research consistently shows that when you're just consuming tutorials or reading blog posts, you retain only a small fraction of what you see. But when you actively engage, writing real code, building real projects, solving a problem, skill retention can climb closer to 80%. And that's a huge difference, and it explains why so many people feel productive while learning, yet struggle to create anything once the tutorial has ended. So here's what I will say to you. Whatever resource you choose for this journey to learn Python, it needs to make you build, not just watch. And if you're not typing and experimenting yourself, then you are really not developing any real skill. You need hours of hands-on practice at the keyboard. That's exactly why I always recommend DataCamp for their hands-on learning. I used it myself when I was going through the interview process for coding interviews years ago. And the way it structures the interactive exercises made everything click in ways that passive content consumption will never do. There are 2 tracks in particular that I think are excellent for Python. So if you're starting from scratch, begin with the Python Data Fundamentals track. It covers variables, functions, lists, and dictionaries, all things that we just talked about, entirely hands-on with no passive lecture format. From there, you can move into the Associate AI Engineer for Developers track. This is the practical bridge from Python into real AI systems, and you will build applications like the chatbots, semantic search tools, RAG, and recommendations engine using OpenAI API, Hugging Face, LangChain, and Pinecone. It also includes LLM ops, teaching you how to deploy AI systems into production, something most courses completely overlook and most people don't prepare for before an interview. And you need that. Now we go up a level. A chatbot that remembers the conversation, like a real back and forth with a colleague, not just a single email exchange. So why not just send customers to ChatGPT? Well, because companies need AI woven into their own products, connected to their own data, and behaving the way they want. So notice how when I ask a follow-up question, what do you mean by data processing? It actually remembers I said one sentence, and that's the memory system at work. So what new Python do we need here? Loops, specifically the while loop. It keeps the conversation going as long as the user hasn't said quit. Now think of it like a revolving door. It keeps spinning until someone decides to walk out. Then there's if-else statements, the brain of your app. If the user says quit, stop. Otherwise, keep talking, like a traffic light, green for go, red for stop. Then there's functions, reusable chunks of code. Instead of writing the same send message and get response logic 10 times, you wrap it in a function and call it like a vending machine. You put in your input and you get your output. Then there's memory. We use a growing list to store every message in the conversation. Every turn gets appended, like keeping a running tally on a whiteboard that the AI can always look at. RAG, which is talking to your company's documents. Now, companies have mountains of documents, the policies, the contracts, wikis that AI model has never seen. So how do you make the AI an expert at your data? That's where RAG comes in, Retrieval-Augmented Generation. Imagine that you're cramming for an exam, but the textbook is like 10,000 pages. You don't read all of it. You use index cards. So step one is you cut the textbook into small chunks. These are your index cards. Now, step two is you label each card with a number fingerprint, a vector embedding. Now the cards are searchable by meaning, not just keywords. Then step three would be you file all the cards in a special cabinet, which is your vector database. Step four, a question comes in. The cabinet finds the most relevant cards. You hand both the question and those cards to AI. It answers with full context. Now, what Python do we need for this? Well, file handling, how to open a file and read its contents. Super simple, like opening a book in Python. 2 lines of code. Slicing. Python lets you cut a string like a loaf of bread. So give me characters 0 to 500, done. Characters 500 to 1000, done. That's how we chunk. Then there's loops inside loops. For each document, for each chunk, like a Russian nesting doll of loops. Then there's vector databases like ChromaDB, a local database that stores meaning, not just words. So you query it by asking, what's semantically similar to this? Instead of just pattern matching text. There's a lot more you could be doing. I hope this got you started and gave you a framework to start using AI to learn Python and vice versa. But let me summarize quickly. Phase 1 is your foundation. This is the bricks, the variables, strings, the F strings, the lists, the dictionaries, loops, if-else conditions, functions, all of that. Without this, you can't build anything. This is your concrete foundation. Then you have phase 2, which is the connective tissue, the file handling, the read writes, the JSON formats, the APIs, the API keys, the .env files, the error handling, try, accept, logging. That is what makes your code talk to the outside world reliably. And then phase 3 is the AI toolkit itself, working with the model SDKs, Anthropic, OpenAI, Hugging Face, building the chatbots with memory, RAG, chunking, embeddings, vector databases, querying, and then retrieving from the vector stores. Now notice what's not on this list is your web frameworks like Pandas or NumPy or deep learning math or object-oriented programming patterns. Those matter in other contexts, but not in context of AI. So one golden rule I live by: 20% consuming content, 80% building. You can watch 1,000 tutorials about swimming, or you can jump into the pool and start swimming. Code every single day, even 20 minutes, build the projects that I showed you. That's how you become an AI engineer. You can start there, they are very simple, and then you can graduate into more complicated visionary projects. And all the projects that I used here, I'll put them in the link below. Pick one, build it, share it on your LinkedIn, tag me if you want to. I'd love seeing what you made. And I've included the links to 2 structured paths from DataCamp that I was talking about earlier. And hey, if this roadmap clicked for you, share it with one of your friends who has been stuck in tutorial hell. You might just save them months of confusion. And in the meantime, here's my AI agent, AI engineering videos. I'm pretty sure you're going to like them. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.